What's going on, guys? This is Jerry back with the video. Super pumped, guys, for today's video. As you guys can see with the background, the backdrop, I'm currently in the Dubai Marina right next to the Palm Jumeirah. If you guys have been seeing the stories, you guys know that Dubai is the spot right now. It's currently the 14th of December and I'm here till the 22nd, and it's truly been crazy. And what better way to fulfill the trip and to record as much content as possible. And the reason why you guys press on this video is because you want to get a better understanding of how to leverage YouTube in your own personal brand to make as much money as possible. Well, guys, that's exactly why we're having this video in the first place. And I want to take you guys back a second and make you guys understand why I actually wanted to make this right now today. I had a consulting call yesterday where a potential client booked in onto my calendar. I had a whole, call with him, whatever it might be. And when I asked him where he found me from and how he booked in, it was for YouTube. And he was telling me how he sold he was on the YouTube videos, right? Guys, there's such a thing where you can wake up and just imagine you have your calendar, the whole notification go off, it hits your phone and you see new appointment booked. You have no idea who booked. You have no idea how they booked because it wasn't your DM setter, it was YouTube. Zero cost of acquisition. Not one DM setter had to be involved, and the YouTube did all the work. This is exactly why I wanted to make this video, so you guys could see for yourself the power of YouTube if done properly. I say that because a lot of you people I see are just copying what seems to be working, not realizing that there's intent behind everything we do. And if you're one of my current clients, you know how big I am on teaching you the methodology behind certain things. I do not just tell people to do something. No, I teach you the methodology behind it, right? So for the next 15, 20, 25 minutes, guys, I'm going to be giving you in-depth understanding of how YouTube will make you rich, as you guys can see from the actual, description and caption, in 2026 as a coach and consultant. Super important stuff. So first, let's begin. Now, to understand how YouTube will make you rich, first you have to understand some examples of personal brands. Guys, I'll give you the best example of a very strong personal brand, Iman Ghazi. Right away, when you think of Iman Ghazi, you think of so many different things of his life. Him helping his mom, having a classy lifestyle, right? SMMA, taking care of his loved ones, timeless look. But he's created such a strong following, such a loyal following through YouTube. There's nothing people like more than transformation. If someone can look through your journey alongside with you and watch you grow, watch the transformation, they end up following and they fall in love with the journey. They follow for who you are because people want to be part of something that's growing. You know why? Because they feel like they're part of a movement. They feel like they're part of something, right? No one wants the finished product. Everyone wants you in the middle of your growth. And you know what also happens? What also happens psychologically speaking are two different things, which I'll go on in depth later in the video. But number one is that your perceived value increases because you're in an upwards trajectory towards your business. And number two is people have hope. People look at your content, they look at your life, they see how much you're growing, and it gives them motivation. It gives them the energy and breaks the limiting beliefs of, oh, I can't do it. Well, no, you can, because X, Y, and Z person, like Iman Ghazi, for example, is scaling. Because if I'm a struggling SMMA guy and I look and see at Iman, he gives me the motivation I need to be able to scale because I see that he is growing. Okay. Another example that I put up here on the screen as well is Andrew Tate. Guys, as you guys know, of course, it's a huge outlier, but Andrew Tate is a perfect example, right? A very polarizing figure. Right? Speaks in a very polarizing way, says polarizing things, attracts attention, and right away, the second you think of him, what do you think about? I think about Bugatti. I think about what color is your Bugatti, right? I think about Romania. I think about supercars because that's what his content is around, right? Then he has so many videos that it's showcasing that and showcasing that time and time again that you end up just associating different things to them. That is a personal brand. Notice how the people that I just pointed out, for example, they each have their own personalities. You each know what their qualities are like. That is a personal brand. And you have to take a second and really analyze and understand that. And the reason why, guys, is because many of you that I see on Instagram don't have a personal brand. You just post videos to post videos. You're just selling to your audience. When was the last time you have a video on your actual Instagram talking about how you feel, the journey you went through, the story, whatever it might be? Very few. Because if you just 3, 2, 1, press record and start to sell to your audience, they don't know who you are, what you've gone through, what you overcome, who you are as a person. That's not a personal brand, but you're just selling to your audience. And people don't want to be sold to, especially not in 2025 and 2026. Right now, the person that's going to win in 2026, mark my words, is the one that knows how to indirectly sell to your audience. I'm telling you guys right now, if you know how to indirectly sell to your audience in 2025, 2026 as a coach consultant, having your own info business and info product, you are going to win every single time. Why? Because there's such a power when you indirectly sell to your audience, they actually want to buy from you even more. When you start showcasing specific content categories, you start posting things specifically to target the buying psychology, they're going to want to buy every single time because they won't even feel like they're being sold to. It's like that push-pull concept, which we'll talk about as well. So now that you guys understand the importance, or at least examples of personal brands, I want us to talk about IG versus YouTube. Now guys, we're about 5-6 minutes in the video, okay? Guys, leave a comment if you guys like these kind of variations, these kind of long form variations. If it helps you guys understand, because this is how I get my point across, is by having a Miro board where I'm breaking everything down, I'm drawing on my iPad. If you guys understand this and you guys like this and visualize this and understand, please let me know, guys, okay? Any feedback is obviously well appreciated, just because this is gonna give me the understanding that, okay, you know, my audience understands this kind of variation, let me double down and do more. So guys, take a second after this video, go and leave a comment as well, let me know how you guys find it and how you guys like it. Now, with that being said, Instagram versus YouTube. This is something that I need you guys to completely understand, okay? Here's the main difference. When you have Instagram versus when you have, let's say, I'll just put like YouTube over here. They're each destined to do different things. For Instagram, for example, a lot of the times what you end up doing is you end up attracting leads. You just attract them, okay? It's very top of funnel, maybe also middle of funnel if done properly. Right? But keep in mind that you're not really building a crazy big connection on Instagram. It's very, very surface level, right? Like I said, it's good for attracting, but it's always going to be more towards the top of funnel. Like the funnel's over here, it's always going to be more on the top of funnel, right? This is how you're going to be able to attract more people. Okay, Jerry, how do I go down the buying journey as much as possible to the middle and the bottom? Right? This is where YouTube comes into play. While Instagram basically attracts your leads, gets them in the top of funnel, middle funnel, and it gets very surface level, right? What you could do actually, I'll argue, is maybe a sneak peek, which is a very, very good way of looking at it. A sneak peek of who you are, of who you are as a person, and what your company does, your business, everything. But YouTube is where everything happens. You know why? YouTube is where you nurture a prospect by constantly viewing your videos at a long enough time scale. Right? There's a rule in marketing that says it takes on average, the rule of 7. It takes on average 7 hours of watch time until a prospect is completely ready to buy. 7 hours. I would argue, if you know exactly what you're posting and you know exactly why you're posting and with what intent, this could easily go down to 3 hours. I'm not even joking. It's happened. I've had clients come on the call. They paid in full. After they paid in full, I asked them, how many videos do you actually watch? How many videos and how many hours of content do you think you actually consumed before making a decision to pay me? Some said 3, some said 7, some said 10 because they were more skeptical and they were burnt in the past, which is always going to happen. And some said, I didn't watch any videos. I just saw your Instagram. Right, which obviously is crazy, but again, 7 hours, 3 hours, all depends on these specificalities and how intentful you are with your content, okay? So YouTube, you're able to nurture your prospects a lot. What else can YouTube do? YouTube can pre-handle limiting beliefs like never before. So pre-handle beliefs / objections. This works really, really well if you know to its core fundamentals, your market audience, and you've done so much market research, you know in the back of your hand exactly who you're targeting and who you're speaking to, right? So pre-handling beliefs and objections is going to be number 1 for YouTube. Another thing as well, I would say, is creating relatability as well as fostering connection, okay? Because people are going to be used to watching you. Right? Guys, I'm sure you know YouTubers right now. If you have to take a second to think of who you actually enjoy watching, you feel like you have a connection with them. Why? Because when you're looking at their videos, they're letting you into their personal lives. You feel like you have a connection. You feel like you have a friendship. That's the power of YouTube, right? The power of YouTube is to also, I would say, overcome, like we said, pre-handle limiting beliefs, overcome objections. Convert is number 1. You can convert your audience a lot on YouTube, a crazy amount if done properly, right? So Instagram is where you first get them onto your whole, your whole ecosystem of content just by the entrance, and YouTube is where people end up paying, right? YouTube is where people pay. You're also gonna have people on Instagram in the DMs that pay you as well. However, I would argue the way you're able to do this, and I'll keep it short because I'm going to break this down later in the video as well, is that you first have to have specific converting mechanisms and specific sequences put in place where you could push your audience from, let's say, your top or middle of funnel content all the way to YouTube towards a video that's set to convert. And from there, they have two options. They book a call with a Calendly, or you divert them back to Instagram. And on Instagram, with specific sequences, converting mechanisms, they end up paying you in DMs like I had literally just last week. Beautiful 4K PIF happened on the DMs because, like I said, converting mechanisms, I understand to its core fundamentals, the marketing principles behind this. That's how you're able to do this. But if it wasn't for YouTube, I would not be able to get the painfuls that I get for my current consulting, okay? So, side note, by the way, in case you guys don't know, I obviously help scale and manage info businesses, whether you're a coach, consultant, agency owner, and you're struggling between 5 to 30, 40, 50,000 a month. You have no idea what you're posting. You don't know what stories to write. You don't know what YouTube videos to make. You have no idea how to scale. You're stuck and you're left wondering what you're actually doing. Listen, at the end of this video, book a call down below in the description. I'll go ahead and hop on a 30-minute call with you. I'll audit your system for completely free. I'll give you some game for you to use, okay? Because my entire goal and purpose with this video and me being in the online space is I want to give as much value as humanly possible. That's what I stand for. So I want to give value, value, value. Book a call down below. If you're between 5 to 15 to 25 to even 50K and you want to scale, you know you could scale, you know you have the potential, but you're lacking specific systems on content, on conversion, on fulfillment, book a call down below. You'll save yourself the time, the money, and everything. Cool. With that being said, now that you guys understand the different contrast between channels, let's talk about funneling traffic towards YouTube. There's different ways you can funnel traffic towards YouTube. One of the ways I like to do it is going to be in my actual bio. If you guys take a second and go and look at my Instagram bio, I actually have a YouTube link in my description. Why? Because that's part of the ecosystem that I need to make sure that's completed. A lot of people, you'll be so surprised, will follow you from a reel and they want to get to your YouTube, but you having them search up your name on YouTube increases client difficulty. It makes people go out of their way for no reason. Why would you do that to yourself? Why would you make your life harder? Make your prospect's life easier and have an engaging video with a specific title. For example, a case study, how I made X, Y, and Z in X days with the emoji of the finger down below, and you have the YouTube link. That's an amazing video for you to have. Why? Because imagine you're an audience. Right? You have your own audience, you have your own clients. And I'm a lead over here, okay? And I come in from a reel that you posted. And I liked your reel. So what did I do is I ended up following you, right? And this is your page, your Instagram page. You have your thing over here, whatever over here. You have different stories. And here you have like different reels, right? Can you imagine how quicker you're gonna get people if over here you have a YouTube video, the YouTube link, right? That directs you or directs them towards your YouTube. So right away, in a matter of seconds, in a matter of minutes, I could go from looking at your reel to following you to going through YouTube. And right away on the YouTube is where you have specific content categories, which I teach all my clients inside Growth Capital, that will make your prospects convert as much as humanly possible. And this all took a matter of seconds, minutes. Crazy how that works. But I'm telling you this works if you do it properly. So number one is going to be the bio. Right? Very, very important. A second thing is going to be CTAs. Oh, but Jerry, don't you want to like not exhaust your audience? I don't want to exhaust my audience. I don't want to sell to my audience. Listen, there's CTAs to sell and there's CTAs to give value. Very, very different. A CTA for selling, right, could be like you were talking about having specific spots. You only have 3 spots, 5 spots. This is what like your average gurus do, which is they say 5 times a month or 6 times a month, every single week. I only have 3 spots left, 2 spots left, 5 spots left. Like, okay, sure. I'm not a big fan of that unless you do it properly like all my clients do. If you know how to do it properly and you have a good team by your side and a good market knowledge, then CTAs can be deadly. For example, one of my clients, Daniel, we just worked together. It's been 3 weeks I've onboarded him. He had a soft launch. He's never run an info business in his life, but he has a good following, good audience, and he knows what he's talking about. He's a day trading coach. He has about 14K followers. In a span of the first week of us working together, he made all his modules. He built out his entire team, DM setter, editors. Long story short, he did a soft launch, just 4 days of story sequences, and he made 15,000. Guys, 4 days soft launch, 15,000. Okay. I have one of my closers here, Wiley, who's also making his own offer. He's sitting next to me over here, but you guys don't see him in the frame. And I want him to hear this because I need him to understand the potential, Wiley, of making cash is insane, right? And he's here and he's smiling, he's laughing, because he knows it's true. It's genuinely insane. 4-day soft launch off the stories, 15,000 just like that. Now he has his own DM set. He's going to get a second DM setter very soon. He's posting consistently. So guys, your life can change in a matter of 2 weeks, 3 weeks. It's insane if you're working with the right people, right? So CTA to sell is one thing. What I love doing is a CTA for value. Okay, CTA for value can be done through different channels. It can be done through stories. It can be done through reels. I would do stories or reels, or actually one more could be carousels. Super nice. A carousel, like for example, if you look through my pinned post on Instagram, you're gonna see a carousel where it's the comment, and once they comment, I send them over a video or send them over a message, and I convert them towards YouTube afterwards. For Reels, you'll see a lot of different coaches and consultants actually ask their prospects and their audience to comment below a specific keyword. And once they comment that below, they send over a specific video, training in the DMs. That's a CTA value. You're not selling, you're giving. There's a very big difference between giving versus selling. Now, what's the difference? When you're giving to someone, you know what happens? You create what I like to call, which many people don't even know about, value debt. Value debt is created. They're now indebted indirectly to you because you provided value. In a market where everyone wants to take from you, you gave. So imagine if you're a sales coach and you teach people how to close and how to better close. Imagine you have 20 coaches that are looking to sell to you as a struggling closer, but you have one of them that actually led with value first. Right away, that one person stands out in the room. That's what I teach all my clients, right? Is by giving and not selling. And this ties back to what I said earlier in the video about indirectly selling to your audience, which is so crucial, right? So you could give a lot of value. The stories work really, really, really well. I have a client, Andrew, where right now he just cracked his first 100K month last month, purely organic. And the reason why is because we understood so well the importance of doing a story CTA for value. And it could be easily 4 to 6 slides talking about how client X made this much. Second story slide could be, look, for example, I'll give you guys over here a different example because I love giving value. It could be here a value CTA story sequence. Okay, here's how I would do it. Slide number 1 could be maximum credibility. Okay, result. For example, client went from X to X in under X time. This is crazy. Slide number 2 could be like another result, okay? I'm doing this because I want to make sure that I'm minimizing the drop-off as much as possible, okay? So I want to increase retention rate as much as possible. I want to increase it. And the way to do so is by piquing curiosity and showing results. Then over here, I would do, like a lot of you guys see the different results. You see all my mentees winning, but you don't actually understand what's the concept behind it and how they're actually getting it. But today I'll be unveiling everything for you, ... Again, this is maximized retention as much as possible, cool? On the 4th, I normally charge X, Y, and Z for it. But today I want to be able to help you guys as much as possible, which is why I'm going to be doing something I never normally do, ... Again, you're increasing retention. And the last one would be, I just had a client call with all my mentees and I gave them $50,000 worth of actual value that they could use for their own offers. For the next 24 hours, I'm keeping this story up. DM me the word coaching, training, whatever it might be, for the full live breakdown. Guys, this prints so much. If only you guys understood how much this printed. Oh my God. Okay, I could show you guys screenshots and show you guys bank statements of my clients, how much money they made, but it would breach some confidentialities. But guys, like this simple 5-story sequence that took me probably 45 seconds to make, like will make you so much money. But notice the frame. Notice how it led with credibility, led with results, so they know that what I'm talking about actually makes sense because they see other people winning. Then I actually took a step back, framed it in a way where you never normally do this, but you just want to give value as much as possible to your audience, and then you provide them with a CTA for them to actually be able to get the value. This is one example of a value CTA story. The Reels, as I said, you can have them comment for a specific value asset, whether it's a lead magnet, whether it's a video, a live breakdown, whatever it might be. A lot of stuff work, okay, especially in 2025. Now that you understand the importance of a personal brand, you understand the Instagram versus YouTube concept, and you understand how to funnel traffic towards YouTube, let's talk about what to post, okay? Now, there is a bunch of different things that you could post, and it gets very messy if you don't know what you're doing. I like to simplify it as much as possible. And the way I simplify it is we have educational, we have credibility, we have personal. That's pretty much it what I would do. For educational, Very simple. If you understand proper market research, you'll know what your specific problems for your ICP is. An education will be a problem solution video. Now, guys, I have to say this for argument's sake because a lot of people will take this and make a video about it and not understand how to do it. Guys, when I say problem solution, I do not mean a vague problem, like inconsistent trading, inconsistent sales, inability to handle objections. Like you have to narrow down what the actual problem is. Hot take, guys. What if I told you guys that inability to handle objections is actually still too broad? Because imagine you're a struggling closer and there's two kinds of videos. You ready? The first video is how to overcome objections. Okay. The second video is how to pre-handle fear objections before they even happen. Like, guys, right away, if your problem, your specific problem is how to handle fear, right away, indirectly, in a matter of a split second, okay, when your frontal cortex is going to give you an answer or a different impulse of which video to go to, which one do you think they're going to go to? Is it how to overcome objections or the specific problem you have that has a specific solution? Because right away, as human nature, when you have a specific video with a specific problem, you can assume that the solution will be so much better because it's so niche down, it's so specific compared to a broad topic. Like, this is why it's so important to understand YouTube. That's a specific problem solution video that will be anywhere between, let's say, 15 to 20, I would say maybe even 30 minutes, right? And that's gonna help a lot of your audience. And obviously at the end, you have different converting mechanisms you could do. Problem solutions are very good. A second one as well is a value video, okay? Now, the way I like to see a value video is very simple. I like to still offer it in a context of problem solution, but where you're also offering them at the end of the call or video, whatever it might be, a resource, a framework, whatever it might be to actually help them more. Like what would help a lot is if, say, for example, I'm teaching high ticket closers or helping them, at the end of that video in the description, they can have access to like 10 hours of closing calls, or they can have access to my sales framework, my scripting, sales documents about how to handle objections, whatever it might be, right? Just a value that they could actually take for their own end. And Hormozi does this very, very well. If you guys want to pay attention, Hormozi does this very well by giving value. Okay. So problem solution value video is very, very good, guys. This, by the way, guys, this educational goes so much more in depth as you guys may think, but I don't have 3 hours to be on this video either. So I'm just giving you guys the fundamentals of the educational, right? For credibility, which is one of my all-time favorites, you have obviously testimonial, which is essentially you with a prospect. You want your mentee / client to speak for you. Meaning you don't want to be on that video and you don't want to be talking about how different the mentorship is and everything. You want them to do it for you. You want your mentee, your clients, you want them to tell the audience how beautiful the experience was, how insightful the mentorship was, everything. It's really, really important stuff, right? You want them to tell you, not you tell them. There's a very, very big difference, okay? A second thing after testimonials is gonna be case study. Case studies is essentially how you got client to desired outcome. And it's super important that desired outcome is the same desired outcome that your audience desires as well. Now, why is this so important? I'll tell you guys why. The reason why is because as your audience, they're going to be able to visualize themselves going through the same process you took your mentee through, which makes it 10 times more believable. And this actually works. Like, I've hopped on calls and they've told me the way you've broken down how you've got your XYZ client to XYZ result is so straightforward and so simple. I love how you're able to break it down because now I know I have no stress. I have no, how could I say, questions. I have no concerns about how you're going to get me there. I know how you're going to get me there. So let's go. Let me pay you. Let's start. That's the power of a case study, right? It works so, so well. And the way you structure, I'll make it very clear, the way you structure it is the beginning of the video would be the situation he was at in the past and what he was experiencing. And make sure you also vocalize the same pain points your audience currently has. This is game I'm giving you guys right now. You'll make so much money from this. And desired outcome is where you got your client. So from A to B. And everything along the way will be step-by-step process of how you got it there. And make sure that it makes sense. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different steps. So whatever it might be, cool? And make it make sense. And this over here is a case study. Okay, so now you know what to post about the credibility, you know what to post on the educational. Let's talk about personal.
look, I will say this. If you're B2C, lifestyle works very, very well. Okay? So this could be like day in life. This could be vlogs, whatever it might be. Cool? Etc. Because you're showcasing your audience what life they want to have. And you're showcasing that. This is very, very powerful stuff. Very, very important. Because then you're building that desire. You're building that FOMO. You're making them want to have the same life as you. So lifestyle is a very big one. A second one that I personally love is going to be personal/value. And this is where storytelling comes into play as well, right? Because storytelling, people will actually remember who you are as a person, what you've gone through, what your values are, what you stand for, and everything. And this is where you build a very, very deep connection with your actual audience, because now they know, like, and trust you, because they know stories about your personal life. They know what you've been through, which, guys, I'm telling you, works every single time. Like, you do not want to be known as the guy that's just selling to his audience, because you're not going to beat the person that his audience knows what he's been through, his struggles, his transformation, his story. And if it's uncomfortable for you to tell your story, believe me, I've been there myself as well. I didn't want to talk about my family. I didn't want to talk about why I make money. I didn't want to talk about anything, but I did. And what happened is people hopped on the call and they literally told me the first thing was, I love how you're not promoting a lifestyle where you're just making money to get X, Y, and Z. You're actually getting a lifestyle to be able to help your family, right? So after you're done with this video, actually think for a second, what do you want your audience to know you as? What do you want your audience to follow you as? Do you want them to know you as just a basic sales trainer, or a sales trainer that actually does this because of X, Y, and Z, or a trader that makes his money because of X, Y, and Z, because he's been through X, Y, and Z? And the best kind of coaches are the ones where their story is relatable to their ICP story as well, right? Like if you talk about how you were good in sales, but then you got into high ticket sales, and for the first 6 to 8 months, you had so much doubt. You were on the brim of your bed and you were thinking to yourself with your head in your hands, like, is this industry for me? Do I have to go in somewhere else? Do I have to go back to school? Do I have to go back to like a 9-to-5 job? Imagine you're talking about your story of what you went through, and your audience that's looking at your video are going through the exact same thing right now. Imagine the power you now hold, because that relatability is so strong and so powerful. Nothing can break it. No one can break it. Nothing can break it. I'm telling you, it's crazy, the power of it, right? This is personal values. Now, where it gets really interesting is if you're able to also pre-handle objections in this category as well. So you have to list out all the objections that you're getting, all the objections you're getting. If it's time, if it's fear, if it's money, if it's actual real objections. And in the storytelling videos, in the lifestyle videos, in the personal/values where you pre-handle. How would you pre-handle a time objection video? Very simple. You could do it in the personal where you're talking about a point in time where you thought you had no time and you still succeeded, or you do it in a case study video and you're showcasing a client that got results and their current situation that they were at when they first joined you didn't have the time either. But Jerry, I got burnt in the past. Well, what if you saw a case study before the video? What if you had a prospect coming through your DMs? Okay, this is your DMs over here. And your DM setter extracted the objection that made them hold them back. And he knows, and you know, that the objection was that he got burnt in the past. Okay, now what if from the moment the call is booked to the moment the call actually takes place on Zoom, what you do is you send over a case study and testimonial, and the case study shows your client Max that got from where your current client that's gonna hop on a call is at to desired outcome. And what if in that case study, what you show is that his main objection or his main problem when he first joined you was that he got burnt and scammed in the past. Imagine when they hop on the call, on that Zoom call, how much more ready they are to pay you. Guys, this works. I'm telling you, this works. Why? Because you can't fake this. You can't fake results like this. Right? If you have someone that's been through the same stuff you're going through and they now see results with you, the prospect is going to want to buy from you because you've overcome their objection without even hopping on the call first. This entire concept is the 80-20 rule. Guys, write this down. 80% conversion should be done through content. 20% should be done on the actual call. 80-20 concept works every single time. I do not want you guys to hop on sales calls and for 1 hour handle objections and then charge back because fulfillment is not good. And that went all down to nothing. I do not want you guys to establish a good connection with someone on the call. You're talking about their life. You have such a good experience with them on the sales call. Everything is good. They pay you $25,000 and the next day they charge back because the group, the community aspect was not to their liking. I don't want you guys to do that. I want you guys to handle everything before the call takes place through content. Once they hop on the call, they pay every single time. Now, I know I went through a lot, what to post, where to post and everything. The last two concepts I want to go through, guys, which is going to make you a lot of money, is the flywheel VSL, okay? As you guys know, a regular VSL is essentially they watch a VSL, they book a call, they show up and they close or they don't close. That's essentially how it works. What if I told you a flywheel VSL is different? First, we have to talk about how YouTube rewards you. YouTube favors your videos in two main ways. It boosts you on the algorithm in two main ways. You guys ready? Number one is CTR. Guys, write this down. Number one is CTR. What's CTR? Click-through rate. Okay? Click-through rate is how many people actually press on your YouTube video when it pops up on their feed. That's why a good thumbnail, an engaging caption, this all matters. So click-through rate's number one. The second thing is session time. Okay? YouTube tracks every single user on how long they spend on the actual app. Those that spend the most amount of time going from one of your videos to another favors your video, your initial video. That's how that works, right? Which leads me to my point that if every single video you have has a CTA to book a call, you are ruining your chances at having a video being promoted from YouTube. Why? Because you're pushing a prospect to go from your call, and instead of going to another call, that word session time, you go into book a call right away, which is a third-party link. So YouTube picks this up as a video that is not the most favored, and it will not give you the best exposure that you're looking for in your brand. So Jerry, what are you getting at? Well, let me explain to you. Now that you understand these two concepts, what if I told you, and this is what Iman Ghazi did, and he made the most amount of money almost ever in the YouTube history off of this one video, is he made a video, if you guys remember, about why SMMA is the best business model to start in 2024. If you guys remember that carefully, remember he had those charts, he had the different kind of comparison of different business models, and it was like a 45-minute video to an hour. Well, what he did, and he mastered this, was in the description of that videos where he actually had a checkout page, or he had a landing page that was pushing Digital Launchpad. But what he understood at its fundamental peak was he had a video over here. And this video was the VSL. It was a VSL, essentially getting his audience to indirectly sell themselves on the idea of starting this business model. And every other video that he posted for the next 6 months, 8 months, 10 months, 12 months, guess what happened? It wasn't a CTA at the end. What happened? It was directing towards that video, that principal video, which is what I like to call a flywheel VSL. So imagine he's doing everything at once. CTR is through the roof, session time is through the roof, and what happens is that he pushes them right away on the main video, which was the VSL flywheel video that he made. And over here at the description is where he had a link, and the link over here was to join. And this is how he made millions of dollars in the space. And this works so well if done properly. YouTube has not patched this yet, so you should do this. Now, Jerry, okay, I understand how the flywheel VSL works, but what are some examples? Very simple. You could talk about your business model and why it's the best one in your industry. You could talk about my life story, how my story has happened, and then towards the end, related towards, whatever niche you're in. And that could be like your flywheel VSL as well, okay? There's different ideas that you could do it. Okay. Last but not least is the conversion aspect. Now, I want you guys to understand that YouTube is always going to be a way for you to indirectly sell to your audience. If you're directly selling, you're directly always selling. This is why you're probably on this call stuck in your business, because you should not be directly selling. You should be indirectly selling. The way I am to you guys right now, I'm giving you guys as much value as possible. Whether you guys want to book a call or not, my life won't change, but your life definitely will. Okay. Conversion will happen when you have a type form /Calendly in the description of your video. A second thing is going to be CTA. You could do a CTA 30% in the video, because some people might join, stick a bit for some value and then leave. CTA 30% in the video is going to help you a lot. And last but not least, CTA at 100% in video will help you a very good amount. Now, another way to do this as well is by pushing your audience from YouTube back to Instagram to actually DM you or look back at some other videos, whatever it might be. So pushing them back to Instagram is also a very good way. So like I said, for conversion, Typeform/Calendly link with specific questions to ask before they even have the chance to book a call. Or you could also do, like I said, a landing page as well, works very, very well. Okay, landing page works very well. Okay, which obviously you could have a VSL, and then obviously you can have the application, whatever it may be, and then book call, which is like your standard VSL or like your standard sales process right now, right? Then you can have the CTA, that's 30% in the video, CTA 100% in the video, push to Instagram. Another way to convert as well could be a lead magnet, where in exchange of them getting the information, they have to put in their information, like their name, email, etc. And with all this information, you can then go ahead and have either an SDR, a DM setter, a closer reach out, or yourself, and you'll be able to actually convert them, okay? We went through the conversion, we went through the flywheel VSL, we went through the what to post, we went through funneling traffic to YouTube, went through Instagram versus YouTube, and the importance of the personal brand. Guys, you now have everything you need to make your first $50,000, $100,000 a month off YouTube. You guys should have no excuse right now. No excuse to not make money in the YouTube space, because you now know what you have to do. Now, I'll tell you guys one thing to tell all my clients is do not chase perfection, just execute. Sit yourself down at my breakfast waiting for me. I haven't eaten breakfast yet because I'm like, I'm not gonna make this perfect. I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna speak to my audience, to my following, the exact value I know. I could have obviously went 10 times more in depth with this, but this is obviously for my, consulting clients that I want to make sure that they get their A+ delivery, A+ quality and everything. I'd be doing them with the service if I gave everything out on YouTube. But guys, like I said earlier in the video, if you see your fan base's dashboard, your WAP dashboard, and you know you're meant for more, you're stuck, you're constantly copying what other people are doing, not knowing why you're doing this. You're posting story sequences, you don't know why you're doing, you're posting videos, you don't know what you're doing, you're just pressing record, whatever it might be. Save yourself the time and trouble. Book your call down below. In 14, 20 days, 30 days, you'll be making more money than you were making just now. I'm telling you, that's how it works if you execute properly. Book a call down below. I'd love to be able to help you. My team is ready to help you. Any questions you guys have, shoot me over a message. My Instagram is down below as well. SteckoGP, STECKOGP. And as always, guys, comment if you guys like this kind of variation of video. If so, I will make another one in a couple of days, and it'll be on a crazy, crazy experience and a crazy information for you guys. Any questions, let me know. Stay blessed. Love you all. Peace.